Om Stuta Maya Varda Vedmata Prachodayantam Pavamani Dvijana Ayu Pranam Prajam Pashu Kirtim Dravinam Brahma Varchasam Mahyam Dattva Vrajata Brahmalokam Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. My friends, आने से इसमें बदले विचार due to Maharishis mission. आने से बदले विचार बचना से रहते हैं पाकन सवाल. This thought process, just guess what? Everything you do in life begins with a thought. It's what you think. This is why when we do a Havam Yajna, we do something called Swasti Vachanam. And the first mantra says, Om Agni Mile Purohitam. The first mantra of the Rig Veda. Think carefully of what you do. Children, think carefully. Without the thinking process, everything else falls apart. If the thinking is right, guess what? Most naturally, the actions will always be right. As this Havam finished this morning, where's your brother? When I come back, I have a little analogy I was going to use. I observed something. But the point about, let me just say, when the Havan was finished, and Vishnu took the Havan Kun out of the thali to take it outside, what's your brother's name? Apur? He touched that.
Apurva.
Apurva. Apurva. Apurva. He touched this because he was curious. Is this good? The fire is on, but this is, my friends, that's what it's about. And children are like that. They want to know. Tell me, is it still hot? Talk to me. And parents, very important. When children ask you a simple question, when they ask you that why, do not push them away. Do not say, I do not know. Stop for a second. Think carefully. Because guess what? That's what makes them that beautiful flower, the pool that will eventually bloom to be that great person in society. Do not ever underestimate their thinking. Because the great Maharishi says that Pakan Sawal, if we avoid the simple thing of the why am I doing this? Why am I placing a flower here? Why do I have to put money here? Why this? Why that? That's the pakan. That's the hypocrisy. Tell me why I'm doing this. At the end of the day, when the puja is finished, when the havan is finished, where does this money go? Where does the flower go? What happens? And what he said is that Bari Suhani, Arya Samaj says that because, my friends, you need to think carefully. Are you noble or not? What does Arya mean? Arya is not a people, it's not necessarily a clan, it's an individual. But who is an Arya? An Arya is a person who can think carefully, do the right things, not today, and then tomorrow do something else, every day. The same thing over and over again. That's an Arya. And today, as we celebrate 127 years of this great Maharishi in 1875, in this Satyaprakash, and most of you have a copy in there. If you look at the page XXX211, what's that? 32, I think, of the publisher's note. XX11. That means page 32, right? Of the publisher's note. It says that on the third paragraph, it says that at Bombay, Swami Dayananda wrote and published some books and pamphlets, etc. But the point I want to make is this. But the most significant work of Swami Dayananda at Bombay was the establishment of Arya Samaj, which was founded on April 10th, 1875. 5th of Chaitra Sutra. The aims and objects of the Arya Samaj were thoroughly discussed, and finally 28 principles to serve as guidelines for its followers were adopted, and you can read the rest of it. It's all in English. I don't have to read it for you. But my point is this, my friends. Every year, every single one in this audience, I'm sure, remembers their birthday. And if they don't remember it, somebody remembers it for them. And guess what? It's a big pomp and joy. Great celebration. It's your birthday. What are we going to do? But today is the greatest birthday of all. 2 days on Tuesday this week. The greatest birthday of all. The birthday that gives us liberation. The birthday that tells us, or reminds us who we are as individuals. Who are you as a human being? Because guess what? When he came on the scene in 1824, as a child, he was born. The situation was totally different today, my friends. Obviously back then there's nothing called internet and nothing called computer. But the great Maharishi Swami Dayananda, as a child, came into this world. And he, through his wonderful parents, Maharshi Karshanji Tiwari, a Shivite devotee, went to the temple and he observed certain things. And he said, this does not appeal to me, but where is God? What is God? What is life? What is death? And he made this question. The Q. Why? Why, my friends? And that's what children do. Children ask you all the time, Mom, why this? Dad, why this? Do not ignore them. And his parents ignored him. ignored him. What did he do? He ran away from home. And guess what? Today, because of him, because of the great Maharishi Swami, we are all sitting here to contemplate, to continue on his journey. We're celebrating today 137 years of Arya Samaj. And I will share with you, my friends, I know Bishop is always looking at me, but we'll get this, we'll keep this straight, Bishop, don't you worry. He produced this book called The Light of Truth, or also the Satya Prakash. Satya meaning truth, At meaning, Prakash meaning light. The light of truth. The light of the meaning of truth. Not just truth, but the meaning of truth. That's what he has done. The great Maharishi. Satya Arya Prakash Hita Yah Satya Prakash Jagi Jyoti Nitya Satya Ki Jyoti Timilka Nash Guru Var Dayananda Ki Jai Rishi Var Dayananda Ki Jai. Satya Arya Prakash Hita Ya Satya Prakash. It says that for the sake of shedding light on the definition of truth, my friends, I have written this text called the Satya Prakash. I trust Jage Jyoti Nit Satya Ki Jyut Timir Kanash. I trust that this light of truth may spread and that the darkness of untruth, Jyut Timir Kanash, that the darkness of untruth will consequently be nash, be destroyed. Sada Satya ko Satya Bhagani Arumitya ko Mitya Mani, my friend. Sada we always, at all times, Satya. I have declared truth as truth and Mitya ko Mitya Mani, on truth as on truth. Very basic principle, very simple. But if you can practice this in life, you will be way ahead of the game. Say it like it is. There are many times we are facing situations and we think, well, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm not sure. Maybe if I do this, the outcome will be different. But what he's saying is simple. The truth is the truth. Say it like it is, regardless of the consequence. The fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth principle of Arya Samaj says that all persons should always be ready to accept truth and renounce untruth. In 1875, 137 years ago, the fourth principle, and all these, actually back then, was 28 principles. And a few years later, they refined it to 10. Das Niyam. Das, children, Das means 10, Niyam principles. rule, regulations. In every home, there are rules, and in every home, there are regulations. In every home, they have certain principles that live by. And if children do not follow it, guess what? Mom and dad will not be happy. Right? Similarly, move that now to the next level, to society. When we do something every day, every week we do yajna called Agnihotra, and we do something called Panch. We offer the ghee 5 times when we say Swaha. And we chant over and over. The mantra says, Om Ayanta Idma Atma Jata Veda Seni Dasa Vardasachera Vardasache Chasman Prajaya Pashubhihi Brahma Vartasena Anadena Samidhaya Swaha. We do it 5 times. Why? Those are the 5 words. Prajaya. May I be blessed with great Prajaya, with great offsprings, great children. Prajaya. Pashubhihi. Now that I have offspring, thank you, God. Bless me with Pashubhihi. Bless me with the wealth. Bless me with energy, so I can provide for them. Prajaya Pashubhihi Brahma Vartasena. May I, as an individual, as a parent, may I live in the society. May I be a person of character. My friends, doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter how great you may be, doesn't matter how much business cards you have, but it's the character that matters. The greatest of all people, the greatest of all people, look at it. What brought them down? It's the character, isn't it? Huh? Only last year, remember, the UN, someone from Paris, I don't know his name anymore, from France, was messed up in New York because of character. But yet, the UN is such a powerful organization in the world. But what brought him down? His character. Because he was someone who was found, but whatever he saw made in the hotel in New York. My friends, that's the third one. Great offsprings, bless me so I can provide for them, have Brahma Varcha, great character. 4th, Anna. Anna? Om Anapate Anasvinode. The first word of the Bhojan mantra. May I be blessed, O God, with great food. Nutritious. Not just good, nutritious food. So my children can grow up to be strong. And finally, Samidhaya. What is Samidhaya? Samidhaya is a spiritual strength, spiritual fiber. Those first 4 are material in nature. But the 5th, Samidhaya, is spiritual in nature. And guess what? That 5th one is like the water. You take sand and cement, you mix it together. Without the water, it's nothing. It will fall apart. Isn't that true? Right? Like Johan, you're a construction man. If you take the cement and the sand, you mix it up as much as you can spend all day mixing it up. But without water, it means nothing. It will fall apart. The moment you pour the water, Samidhaya, spirituality, into everything that you belong, everything that makes you believe who you are, then guess what? Then the foundation, bunyad, is formed. Then it becomes formed. Without spirituality, my friends. The most important, children, and I'm not, by the way, those of you who know me, I'm not talking to adults, I'm talking to children. Please listen carefully. How are you? Children, specifically children. Because guess what? If we lose them, we are lost. Everything is lost. I can lose adults today, it's no big deal. But if we lose our children, we're done. 2 generations from now, we're done. But my friends, parents, you also have a role to play. And take a good example of this wonderful young man, Haiprasad, what he had done here today. Not only today, every week he does this. Every time for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been coming here for 5 years now. Every time I come, I've seen this young man grow and grow. His title is basically Pandit. A Pandit means someone who teaches. Someone who will lecture to you. And that's what he has done. But where did that come from? It did not happen overnight. Look at the wonderful thing. Swasti and Bhavishwat. Guess what? I never asked them this. I'm sure you can ask them on your own. They will tell you, they do spend time. They take their time out of their busy schedule to spend time with their child. To educate, to learn. Not to learn, but to teach. The child has to learn, but you can teach. That's what it's about. As we celebrate Foundation Day today, my friends, 137 years, the only way you can give salutation to that great soul called Maharishi Swaminarayan is if you can now take into your life the things that he taught. What did he say? He said that, I will skip a couple of things because of time. Let me go to something here, the Dasniyam. I will go straight to the first principle of the Dasniyam. There in 1875, they were in Bombay, British place. I was not here obviously, but listening and reading for everything. It says that Bina, we all know Bina means without, Niyam means principle. Without principle, Bina Niyam, Kachahu Panata Nakaju, Jurahu Chai, Adhika Samaju. Without principles, we cannot successfully organize people in Samaj. Why? For achieving higher aims. The only way, my friends, if you want something in life, you must have certain goals in life. You must have, but to get there, you must have principles. You must have this plan. How am I going to get there? So the audience will say to Swamiji, he says, oh Swamiji, without principles, we cannot successfully organize our people into a samaj. How are we going to achieve this higher aims? He says that Tadinat Muni Samujavaha Arya Samaj ke niyam batawa. Oh Lord, oh Swamiji, explain to us the principles of the Arya Samaj. And on that day, 137 years ago, April 10th, is when he said to the audience, and I will share with you only one of the principles, and they're all on this wall. One, two, all of that's me. They're all there. Beautiful. And this temple, when I come here, you walk in and you look at that, it just changes your whole perspective. It changes your whole thinking. Yeah? We're all walking manders. If you do not know, let me tell you one. You don't have to come, you can come and Dr. Chandora is here, Vishnu has left, but he will be back. But I want you to come to this mandir. But remember one thing. Tere pujan ko Bhagwan bana man mandir alishan. Within this mind, everybody, every walking human being is a mandir. But when you come here, what does it do? Especially for our wonderful young children, we get a chance to mold them, to build that mandir, create a fortress, so that they can now go to society and be strong. And this great Maharishi, he said that Sabasatya Vidya Jo Jagamahi. सब सत विद्या जो जगमाई हर विद्या से जान ऊंचाई. He says that God, children, today when you leave here, and just about 5 minutes more wrap up, but he says that God is the first, Pratham, is the first cause of all knowledge. This is why we encourage our children. I remember when I was going to school, I'm done with school now, but when I was going to school, my parents told me, don't forget to say Gayatri Mantra. You go to do your test, first you do say Gayatri Mantra. Chant. Why? Because children, it is very powerful. I've been there, done that. And it will help you. It will get you through. And Swami is reminding us of God. Why? Because you call upon God. Acharya Ji today when you did your Havan, he did something called a Mauna Ahuti. And he said, Om, you remain silent, and then we say Swaha. Why? Because God is a silent witness toward every action. Everything you do. And the greatest of things in life happens in a moment of silence. When you stop making noise. When you stop with all the things that come from all directions, and you go within, introspect, reflect, think, that's when Swahadhyaya. That's when the greatest things happen. And the great Maharishi says that God is the first cause of all knowledge and of the things of this world known through such knowledge. In the Sri Ramcharitamanas, if we try to figure out who is God, what is God, this is what Goswami Tulsidas says. Goswami Tulsidas says that great Goswami Tulsidas, Sri Ramcharitamanas says that Binu Parachalai Sunai Binu Kana Kara Binu Karama Karai Bininana. God walks without feet. Binu Pada without feet. Hairs Sunai Binu Kana, hairs without ears. And Kara Binu Karama Karai Bininana, and performs all kinds of superhuman actions without hands. My friends, Ananda Rahita Sakala Rasa Bhogi, he enjoys all of taste without a mouth. Binu Bani Bhakta Parajogi, and is a superior speaker without human speech. Meaning that you may look, you may search as much as you want, but guess where it is? It's here. Mount Nahar, silent to every action, everything that you do. First principle of Das Niyam, Pratham Niyam of Das Niyam is remember God is a source. God is the root cause of everything. And if you practice that, and if you remember that, my friends, our celebration today will be a great one. Let me close with this one verse of this beautiful bhajan, recognizing the greatness of the Maharishi. It says that the poet of this bhajan, the poet is saying that he describes the contribution of Swami Dayananda Saraswati for mankind. And by his inspiration, that is Swami Dayananda, by his inspiration, people realize their aims and goals in life. This improved self-esteem and self-image, which I will sing in a second in the bhajan, it says that this improved self-energizes, it energizes us to undertake Purushartha. And that this is what helps us to achieve the goals in life. The transformation of a person in the nation arouses the consciousness of society and the nation. Going back to what I was saying earlier, Prajaya Pashubihi, it begins with me, it begins with you. Don't look at society, don't look at teachers, don't look at schools, don't look at government. Think about you. If you're doing the right thing, and if your family is doing the right thing, then society will do the right thing, then everything else will be good. But it begins with me and you. Think of what you are doing. Swaraj. That's where Swaraj comes from. Swat, the self. Government of the self. And if we all practicing the right thing, guess what? The entire country will be doing the right thing. This wonderful child has a great topic today about politics and government. And if they're screwed up, guess what? Don't let that push you aside. You need to be who you are. What's your fiber? What are you made of? And this poet says that the darkness of ignorance was overcome by the light of knowledge, which is what the great Maharishi has done for us. And people realized the defects and worked diligently to overcome, ultimately became self-sufficient. It says that Hua Ajanata Ka Dura Handiya. Because of ignorance. Because of ignorance, darkness was there. But when he came on the scene in 1875, he spread that light of knowledge. Ghara Ghara Janaki. Home to home, house to house, individual to individual. Jnani. Deepa Jale Tirikari. The light, knowledge. Burn away ignorance. Oh. And there's a lot of verses there, but every one of those verses are pregnant, full of great meanings, my friend. The great Maharishi Swami Dayananda, so years will come. We haven't even seen it yet. What we are experiencing now, 137 years, trust me, I may not be around, many of us may not be around, but 237 years from now, what the Rishi has written in the Satya Prakash, in this wonderful text, will still come to fruition. As I close today, Vishnu, I want to thank you very much for accommodating me at a last minute notice. It was only last night I spoke to him. And he said, oh, absolutely, please come. And I just want to remind everyone, it begins with you as an individual. But guess what? God, the very first principle, Pratham, Niyam, that God is the, I don't want to use the word charity, but He is the oarsman. He is the one who takes this boat. Ishwar ki kartar bera par. He will take us across this ocean. If you put your trust, bharosa, kar, Ishwar par, put your trust, faith and courage in Him, and then guess what? You will be successful. And if you remember that beautiful movie, back in the 60s, I think it was 60s or 70s, Dosti, remember? One was blind, one was lame, but guess what? Today we are all in the same boat. And this will fix it. Vedat, our Dholakwalas today. And I want to thank this wonderful audience today for giving me the opportunity to present to you. But lastly, as I close, remember God, Ishwar Hi Karta Hai Mera Baat. If you let God to be the foundation, as we celebrate 100th anniversary of Arya Samaj Foundation Day, if you let God to be your foundation of your life, of everything that you do, guess what? Nothing but success will come your way. Thank you very much. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.